Hi there. I know I haven't gotten very far in these vlogs yet, but I figured a good way to start out getting to know everyone and letting everyone get to know me would be doing one of those TMI tags and just really trying to dive into it, because why not? You know, if this is the whole thing about communicating and getting to know everyone. Why not start out, just put it all out on the table, or at least 50 questions about those things on the table. Literally a t-shirt, I think it's from a company called Rock and Republic. Rock and Republic, yeah, that's an important piece of information. I'm sure that'll come on the pop quiz later. I am right now, and that's a good thing, and I think everyone should feel that at some point in their life, and most likely you're going to feel it more than once. But right now, I am indeed in love, and I've been with my wife. We've been married for 3 years, and been with her for 5. It's a really great question to follow up, ever been in love, because basically it's like, ever been in love and never had it ruined or ruin it yourself? Absolutely. I've definitely had terrible breakups, and that's probably a longer story than I can fit in this video. 5'10" and a half an inch above the average height for men, 165, I think, somewhere in that range. Yes, I have 4. I want to get another one. There's this one on my arm here that says even black hearts bleed, because again, going back to the love thing, I think everybody wants that at some point. So that was my 4th one. I've got 3 along the top of my back, and that'll be for another video another time before I take my shirt off. I had my ear pierced at one point. It closed. One true pairing, chocolate and peanut butter. Right now, I would say Sherlock or Doctor Who. Both of those, basically, I mean, BBC is killing it right now, in my opinion. So yeah, Doctor Who, probably number 1, Sherlock really close. Benedict Cumberbatch ever plays Doctor Who, that's it, and television, I'm done. Right now I'm a big fan of Passenger. I'm actually going to see him in concert this September. You know, VV Nation is a great band. I like them a lot. Listening to a lot of Churches right now as well. I recently got introduced to Walk Off the Earth, and if you haven't seen their covers, especially their recent cover of Rude, do it now. I'll put it in the link below. You have to see it. It's the most adorable thing in the world. I actually tweeted to them. I told them that it was adorable and precious, and I wanted to adopt it. And I promised to keep its name. I miss my friends from various parts of the country, because I've moved basically from the East Coast, from the very northeast to the very northwest to now the southwest. So I've got friends on both coasts. Yeah, I miss them. God, that's a terrible question. Yeah. I'll just be repetitive and just say Rude, the Walk Off the Earth cover. No offense to the originating band, but that cover. Zodiac sign, Sagittarius. I would definitely say someone who listens, who could also then reply as well, someone intellectual connection, being able to just sit and talk, and also being able to sit in silence with each other, gaining that level of comfort that you can have with someone where you just sit and you can just be. I read a lot of books, if you can't tell from behind me. I haven't read everything on the shelf, but a little more than half of them, and that's only counting the books. The ones that I have read that I like, I keep. The ones that I read and don't like, I give away. But when I do, I tend to write down a lot of quotes from the books as I go through them, and things that really stick out to me. And I have, you know, a list of them. I type them up so I don't forget them, and every now and again I go through them so that I can kind of go, wow, that was really great. While this may not be my favorite quote, it's definitely a really good one. It comes from Rebuilding the Dream, a book by Van Jones, who used to work in the Obama administration, and then he went off and kind of started his own nonprofit and foundation. He was talking about his dad, and saying one of the actual favorite things that he remembered from his dad. And he said his dad told him, "There are only 2 kinds of smart people in the world, son. There are those smart people who take simple things and make them sound complicated to enrich themselves, and there are those who take complicated things and make them sound simple to empower and uplift other people. The next time I see you, I want you to be that second kind of smart guy." I like the idea of helping other people and not being kind of just all about yourself. Benedict Cumberbatch. Again, if he played Doctor Who, although Matt Smith, David Tennant, amazing doctors, and I absolutely loved their whole series. Actually, blue, not this specific kind of blue, but you know, just blue in general. It used to be black. I used to have kind of a real dark black phase, kind of mixing black and red, but blue is where it's at now. Absolutely loud, because I love to sing along with it, especially when I'm in the car. And it's probably damaged my ears over the years, so I don't recommend it. I don't tell you that you should do it, but yeah, that's what I do. Inside. Do you really need to know that? That's a kind of a weird question. I don't know, like 10 minutes? 10 plus 10, maybe? About 20 minutes, maybe 30 at the most, but it depends on if I've worked out that morning, and that probably means I'm just moving a little slower. With someone else besides my brother, and even then it was really more just like wrestling per se, not like a physical fisticuffs, then no, I've never been in a physical fight. I've been beat up before, but never, that wasn't a fight, that was just me getting beat up. Intellectual curiosity. I love people that always are interested in learning new things. Honesty. I guess those are two things, but they go together well, I think. Ignorance. Willful ignorance. To reach out, I mean, to connect to more people, shared interests. But also, I've had a couple friends who have also started YouTube channels and are really enjoying it, and they're having a good time, and they continue to push and tell me that I should be doing this and I should be telling stories. And I have a blog that I've been doing for 5 years, and this is really a great way to kind of spin off from the blog to this. That question comes up a lot, I think, in life, and the biggest fear that I've always had is not being remembered. And I guess in a certain respect, you know, YouTube kind of solves that because you're kind of captured digitally forever unless you delete your videos or YouTube expunges your account for some reason. You know, and I'm a writer as well, and so leaving something behind is something that I really feel strongly about. But it's not just a physical thing, not just like videos or writings or whatever, but I really feel like I being forgotten in the idea that when you're gone, nobody remembers you, any effect on their life. And I've kind of, you know, in my definition of, say, what like heaven and hell would be, I think really hell is being forgotten completely. That when you're gone, nobody even knows you're gone. And then heaven is that when you are gone, people think of you fondly. So it's kind of their combined energy that really puts you in this kind of happy spiritual place. Honestly, I was talking with my wife just about 2 nights ago, and we were just catching up at the end of the day, and we were talking about our son who's about to turn 16 months. You'll see him at some point, I'm sure. We were talking about him, and I was thinking about my mom, who passed away about 10 years ago, and when I was about 28. And just wishing that she was here, because I think that she would have played a really big role. I have no doubt that she would have moved down here to be near Logan, and I just missed that. I missed that opportunity that could have been there. Somewhere in the minutes to hours ago when my wife left to go run some errands. Yeah, I mean, it's just like a combination of many things, many topics all coming together to form this like stew. Last book I read is right over here, The Historic Unfulfilled Promise. If you haven't read Howard Zinn before, I strongly recommend it, but I wouldn't start with this one because this is really a sequel or kind of an amendment or addendum to a much more powerful book that he wrote called The People's History of the United States. So if you haven't read that, check it out. It's amazing. It will really shift your mindset. I read 20 books at once. I kind of jump around between books until I find one that really captures my attention and then forces me to read that all the way through to the end. This book, The Devil in the White City, is the one that I'm probably most interested in at the moment, that I've been being pulled back to. It is about the World's Fair in Chicago in 1893, which is, you know, really old. But what a lot of people don't know, and this is a nonfiction book, is that during the 1893 World Fair in Chicago, there was a serial killer who was preying on women, and he basically built a slaughterhouse right in the middle of everything, and he was luring women there, killing them, and dumping their bodies through this kind of really evil concoction that he created inside that house. So how that happened, how they missed it, and while it happened during one of the most magical times in the world at that point. So yeah, fun stuff, lighthearted. Thomas the Train Engine. Yeah, fun with rails, I think. I don't know. Logan was watching it. Technically Logan when I put him to bed, but my wife when she left to go run errands. Person who I last texted or communicated with over the phone in textual communication is my friend Anita, and she's like a coworker of mine. We share an office, but more importantly, she's like a sister to me, you know, very close to me. We are currently addicted to a game, which is really where the text came from. If you do play it, I feel your pain and your addiction. If you don't play it yet, so I don't know how much this is going to show up, but Line Rangers, yeah, that's pretty much I probably would have made 50 videos by now if it wasn't for this game. So take that to heart. Other YouTubers, don't start this. It's heroin. Pizza. Quickest answer ever. There's a lot of places I want to visit. I've been to England once and studied at Oxford for a while, and that was really awesome. I've always wanted to go to Japan just to see such a different culture, and I have such interest in that culture already. If you're talking about traveling outside of like where I live, Florida, when I was working for another company and we had a convention out there or a training conference. But in terms of like if it's not your house last place you went to, then it was where I work. My wife, I have a crush on my wife, which is really handy. It comes in handy. Again, my wife, when I came home from work, honestly, I don't really know. I don't know. I have a really good group of friends. I can't even think of really the last time I was insulted, and fully admitting the fact that, you know, jumping onto YouTube is pretty much a guaranteed point that at some point now, in the very near future, once this video or any video is uploaded, I will be insulted by somebody. Let's just presuppose that question to being, last time you were insulted would be about 10 minutes after I put this video up. Sour anything. Sour Patch Kids, sour belts. Honestly, I don't care. Just put sour powder on it and I'll probably eat it. Nothing. I did play violin when I was a kid, and I played trumpet and trombone and whatever that thing was that was like a tuba but is not a tuba. Played all those. I have a guitar in my office here that I've never learned to play. I've had it for about 10 years. I will do it someday. That is Line Rangers a sport? It really should be. I get carpal thumbs. Last song that I knew all the words to, Let Her Go by Passenger. If that's referring to like pickup lines, God only knows, because I was terrible at that for my whole life. I've never ever been good at that. So I don't even have one to pick. No, I haven't. If I had one, I would have never used it because I was gun shy to the point of not even just being in the room. Might just well have been just a transparency that people walked right through. Wednesday night, went to a baseball game with a bunch of coworkers. Corporate box, what a amazing time and amazing view, and everything about it was amazing. Well, I mean, the person who continually pushed me to jump onto YouTube, Mike, and he's got a channel, Mike and Andy, they're amazingly cool people. They're adorable. They started vlogging right after they got engaged and vlogged their way all through up through the wedding and beyond. So it's an amazingly adorable story to watch. And actually, I and my wife and my son all appear in various videos throughout the 2 years or so that they've been doing it. So if you haven't checked them out, I'll put the link below. Check them out. They're amazing. I'll send the tag out to him and pass it on. If you made it to the end of this video, you now know me better than you did before. And if you want to keep watching, you know where the buttons are. Thanks. Talk to you next time.